Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We're here today with our weekend Cabral HouseCalls. This is where we answer our community's questions each and every Saturday and Sunday, usually getting through about a dozen questions each weekend. If you are ever interested in getting your question answered, you can head on over to stephencabral.com/ask Cabral. Those questions typically take about 6 weeks to maybe 8 weeks to get on the podcast. They're just answered in the order that they come in. And of course, if you want same-day answers to your questions, those are typically able to be answered by our community and coaches over at CabralSupportGroup.com. That's our free Facebook group. Do feel free to head on over there. So we've been answering, again, so many questions over the past few years on the Cabral HouseCalls, a service that I love to be able to provide because as the Stephen Cabral private practice and the Equilibrium Nutrition and the IHP companies have been able to help more and more people. My job has really become being able to oversee many health coaches, be able to oversee our integrative health practitioners in that particular certification, as well as launching our new mastery certification there. And so for me in private practice, yes, I still see people every single week in private practice, but honestly, my goal is to be able to affect larger change. It's always been the goal. I just didn't necessarily have the platform in order to be able to do that. So for me to have you tune in each and every day on the Cabral Concept podcast, and in the future, very, very soon, to be able to do this on video and many other content-based spaces, that's what really excites me. It's being able to reach. And my goal was always, we would do 20,000 appointments a year. Well, that was always what we were doing, and that was a great thing. We started first, of course, at just a couple hundred, and then it would move to a couple thousand, and then before you knew it, we were at 10,000. We opened our second location. We were at 20,000 appointments a year. And although I'm extremely grateful for that, and it was amazing to be able to work and see all of those people really in person, and of course, overseeing the team that helped with that, is now we're doing well over 20,000 downloads a day on the podcast, well over that. And so it's just remarkable to be able to go from 20,000 people or 20,000 appointments a year to 20,000 a day. And again, I couldn't do it without all of you sharing the podcast, sharing the rain barrel effect, sharing this message, and just enabling me to simply pay forward what I've learned over the past 20 plus years in working and overseeing over 250,000 appointments. So thank you so much. And without further ado, let's dive into your questions. All right. The first question today came in on July 12th. This one is, hello, Dr. Cabral. I just finished the ParaSupport protocol and it worked. Biocidin drops are amazing. I ordered another bottle to have on hand. However, I wonder if it's okay to take them on a daily basis to maintain good gut function. If yes, how many drops and what time of the day? Thank you for all your knowledge. Your voice to me each morning is a breath of fresh air. You are one public figure I wholeheartedly trust. Have an awesome day and be safe. Thank you, Faye. I appreciate that. You stay safe as well. So a lot of people actually ask this. This is not an uncommon question. Can I do the CBO protocol multiple times per year because my gut felt really good on it? But the answer is no. So, and here's why. Of course, a lot of companies would say, yeah, please continue, buy more products and all that. That's not what this is about. So Faye she said she trusts me, and that's something I don't take lightly. I really don't. I want you to know that everything I recommend is what I recommend for my family, my wife, my 2 kids, my extended family, my people, my private practice, and to everyone online. My name is over on everything, and that's simply, I do that to know that, listen, there's someone behind this. You'd be shocked and horrified to know about all the business-based groups and marketing groups that try to get people to start a nutritional supplement company in order to buy the cheapest products possible, in order to mark them up 10x what it costs them, meaning like they might pay $3 a bottle and they're charging $30, $40, $50 for that product to people. I mean, it's it's deplorable, but that is what happens in this space. If you are not purchasing from a functional medicine practitioner or functional medicine company, I really think you're doing yourself a disservice, and I think you might be putting yourself in harm's way. I really believe that. I honestly do. And you don't have to go with the brand that I founded, Equilibrium Nutrition. You can go with another functional medicine-based brand. I'm okay with that. But I just want you to know that you can trust what we do. Okay, so now back to Faye. So these are powerful nutritional supplements, the ones in the Parasite, the CBO, and all of them. So whenever you're thinking about herbs and that they're wiping out things in the gut, you don't necessarily take them ongoing. So just like you did, keep an extra bottle on hand. So we have the ParaPro, we have the Biocidin, we have the fluorofilm in there to remove the biofilm. Amazing products. I mean, they work, right? I mean, Faye, you obviously know that. So I just want people to know these things work. This stuff really works. And it's how I got well. And of course, it's why I share it with others. It's what we do as natural health practitioners, natural health doctors. We share this with people because we know it works. And typically we get into this field because we've had our own health issues and we simply want to, again, pay it forward. That just means whatever you learned, you want to share with someone else so they don't have to suffer maybe in the same way that you did, or maybe you can alleviate that in just some way. So the thing is this, you can do the Parasite protocol once a year, but you don't want to use the products ongoing. The daily foundational protocol is what you can do ongoing. So what I do every day is this. I'm going to keep this simple. I do daily foundational protocol level 3. I don't do an enzyme at breakfast, but I do at lunch and dinner. And I do an extra one whenever it's a larger meal. And then I do the immunity protocol every day. And the only time I take some time off would be like July and August. I mean, literally in the summer, I'm outside, I'm getting tons of sun, I'm sweating all the time, like in the heat, so that's when I do it. I mean, you're telling me I would do it September through April, early May. And then I, just for the immunity, take that time off. But unless I feel like I'm coming run down, but I use the daily foundational protocol every single day. And so that's the daily nutritional support, daily fruit and vegetable blend, the omega-3 support, the vitamin D, which is extra on top of that, and the daily probiotic support. So that's it. I mean, that's what you want to do. And then when things come up, well, you do them. And I use the immunity protocol, which is the alkalizing vitamin C. Love that product. And I do the zinc. I do the zinc every single day. I mean, my body needs extra zinc. It's just my constitution, my body type. I'm really active during the day, really active with work, really active with play. And then I have the vitamin D in there. So that's what I do. And then, of course, there's other things I add in as well. I'm not going to say there isn't advanced collagen support, etc., but those are the things that you maintain with. Okay, hopefully that was helpful, Faye. Patrick's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Huge fan. My son is 14, and he had a brain tumor removed 3 years ago. I was wondering what would be a good test for him to see how his health really is. He is doing good now, but I worry a lot. Plus, what would be good for him to do after he gets an MRI? Thank you for everything you do and keep up the great work. Patrick, really appreciate you writing in, as a dad to 2 young girls. These are things that you never want to hear, you never want to experience, but I'm so happy to hear that your son's doing well. And yes, let's keep him well. So what do we do? Well, in an ideal world, we would run the Big 5, but honestly, I'm going to make this easier for you. I would run the starter kit, okay? So the starter kit is the organic acids test. We call it the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, and it's the minerals and metals hair tissue mineral analysis test. Okay, those are the first ones you run, okay? Without a doubt, those are the ones you run. If you wanted to do one more, then I would do a food sensitivity test if your son is having a difficult time staying away from processed foods, because no doubt in my mind, anybody that's dealt with hardships in the past in terms of health needs to stay away from processed foods. They really do. Once a week, cheat meal for your son, not a problem now that he's well, okay? But again, I can't say not a problem. I don't know. I can't give medical advice on the podcast. But, if it was me and you got a clean bill of health with my family, with my kids, that's what I would do. But for sure, we're on a really clean diet. We're getting 7 to 9 servings of fruits and veggies every day, cruciferous vegetables. We are doing good quality, clean protein, no grain-fed meats, no non-pastured eggs, anything like that. So we got a good, clean diet going on. And making sure not to spike blood sugar too often, because that can have an issue with brain tumors, keeping your son at a healthy weight. So these are all things that I would do after an MRI. Good amount of vitamin C, good amount of vitamin D, good amount of zinc, intermittent fasting for 12 hours a night, still great for your son. So Patrick, that's where I'd start. Keep up the great work. And then, of course, get those omega-3s in there as well. Just if your son doesn't want to do supplements, you can just get some good quality fish and check out my show on omega-3s, the highest quality omega-3 fish. There's 5 fish that have the highest level of omega-3, and you could just eat those 3-4 times a week instead of doing supplements if you wanted to. Okay. But on the nights that he doesn't, get those omega-3s in there. Okay. Jade's up next. Hello. Hope all is well. I'm a massive fan of your work and a follower from the UK. Thank you, Jade. I would like some help and advice if it would be possible. My dad was taken into a hospital with a perforated colon, diverticulitis. He's out now and on antibiotics 3 times a day. He also had a heart operation last year. Is there anything you could recommend he does, takes, or eats to help with this healing? Thank you in advance. Also, I've just finished your detox course and I loved it and can't wait to get your detox if available in the UK. Best wishes, Jade. Okay. Thank you, Jade. Let's work backwards. Okay. The detox is available in the UK and it's available in 24 countries, more than 24 countries around the world. Just head on over to equilibriumnutrition.com for all the different products and protocols we use in our practice. Okay, and that includes the labs as well. So you took the detox course. Amazing. By the way, that's free to all of my listeners. You can go to equilibriumnutrition.com/detox-course. And now let's talk about diverticulitis. Now, I think it just seems by your question that you're a newer listener to the show. Just because you see the course, all those great things, you don't know that we ship to the UK, that's okay. I mean, if you tune in just today, then I'd love to have you. It's great. It's amazing. So don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And you've got plenty of time now to go back through, 1,646 shows. Today is episode 1646. And you can go to stephencabral.com/1646 for all the questions. Okay, so let's head on over to stephencabral.com/podcasts. And everybody can do this, not just Jade. And what we're going to do is we're going to type in diverticulitis, okay? And if you don't know how to spell diverticulitis, you can just type in divert. That should work. Let's do that. Okay, and we're going to find all the podcasts that it pops up on. So we have this on 290, 561, 827, 898, 1003, 1072, 1143, 1276, and 1444. Those are all the times that I spoke about diverticulitis. So you can find more in-depth answers there, but I want you to know that most people with diverticulitis absolutely should be working with a local or virtual functional medicine doctor, integrative health practitioner, or naturopathic doctor, because you're going to want to, now you can run the labs through us. So I'm not saying you can't do that. Okay, you can, but you're going to want to run the bacteria and parasite stool test, the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, and the IgG food sensitivity test. The reason is we're dealing with an inflammatory-based issue. We want to find out if there's parasites, bacterial overgrowth, Candida overgrowth, or H. pylori, or all of them. And we want to be able to remove those, but we also want to be doing an elimination diet at the same time. So I can't give you this information, of course, over a podcast. We don't provide treatment protocols, curing, diagnosing of disease, but I want to let you know that's where I would start. And so again, you can go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org and you can just click on Find a Practitioner. Those are all the people that I certify. That's integrativehealthpractitioner.org. Our health coaching team that I oversee is at equilibriumnutrition.com, and you can just click on health coaching. And of course, you can look for a local practitioner near you as well if you'd like to see someone in person. All of those are at your disposal. I simply want to make sure that you know that all of these things are options for you. All right, Jessica's up next. This came in on July 13th. Dr. Cabral, my body never runs a fever. The last time I remember having a temperature when I was sick was over 12 years ago. I'm currently 34 and get sick often. I currently have strep throat and feel terrible, but no fever. I had the flu with a positive test 2 times last year, and my body temp was always in this 97 range. Is this a variation of normal, or is my immune system struggling? Thanks. Okay, Jessica, great question. So, again, we can't provide a diagnosis over the podcast. I always have to state that. That's the rules and regulations with the FDA, so we play by the rules. So what I would say is this. I was in your same boat for many, many years, and it's typically a sign of a rundown body, oftentimes due to a dysfunctional, what's called HPA axis. A lot of people refer to it as adrenal-based fatigue or more of a Th2 dominant immune system, not a strong Th1 dominant immune system, which means the natural kind of mucosa, humoral-based response is off in the body. So what we do, though, in these particular instances is as long as it's not too much of a stress in the body, because typically people in your position, they're a little bit more sensitive. And again, it takes one to know one. I was in that position. And kind of too much exercise gives you flu-like symptoms, makes you tired. Too much sauna makes you tired, right? Gives you brain fog. So I get it. But you want to just slowly increase your hermetic stressors. Check out my podcast on hermetic stressors. HERMETIC, hermetic. You can just type it into StephenCabral.com/podcast. If you ever can't find a podcast, you know it's there, you can't find it, simply ask at CabralSupportGroup.com. Michelle, inside of our CabralSupportGroup.com, our free Facebook group, is amazing at finding podcasts that you may not be able to find. And same with the rest of the community. Okay, they could probably help you. So what we can do, though, is we can have you go into a sauna to actually increase your own natural body temperature. And it might even raise by about a point. That's going to be something, right? That's going to help speed up the blood flow, the circulation, speed up the flow of white blood cells, potentially to the infection-based area. So it's something to look at, right? Absolutely something to look at. You can do dry brushing before you get in. You can do some self-massage in there with some sesame oil. But a sauna is a great thing to have. Okay, Lindsay's up next. Hope you are well and safe. Can you advise me on treatments for Pityriasis? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct, but I know what you're talking about. Versicolor, and how it can be avoided. Thank you. Okay, so Lindsay, in all my work with this, we look at it as a fungal-based issue. Most dermatologists, most doctors will also look at it as a fungal-based issue too. So we look at it two ways, internal and external. External is not the finding of the root cause, but certainly can be helpful in the beginning. Oftentimes we'll apply a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and then we'll allow that to dry, and then we'll apply a little bit of coconut oil on top. You might see it get a little bit more red, a little bit almost like worse before it gets better, but it should start to turn in 3 days or so. But again, this is not a treatment-based protocol. We're working on underlying-based issues. These certainly are not medications. Some people don't react well to coconut oil. They might do better with a little bit of tea tree oil or citruscyl drops mixed with a little bit of olive oil. We're talking like 2 to 3 drops. That's it, about a teaspoon of olive oil. Internally, you'd look potentially at something like the CBO protocol, which is, again, at equilibriumnutrition.com. But again, not a treatment protocol, not a cure. We're looking at underlying root causes. You can figure out what some of those underlying root causes are by simply running 2 labs. The first one would be the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, and the second would be the stool bacteria and parasite test. So that's where I would start. Thanks for writing in. All right, Lal's up. Lal's a frequent contributor to the house calls. I see Lal's name quite often, and of course, unique at LAL. I'm assuming that it's initials, but I don't really know. And that's okay. It's anonymous. It's just first names here. So Lal says, hi, you are an amazing soul. Thank you, Lal. Anytime you start off a question like that, I'm happy to answer your question. All right, I have a question about watermelon. I eat it every day when it's in season, but it's not organic. Last year, I juiced the rinds because of different reasons. First, the juice is amazing, very hydrating. Second, it's supposed to be good because of the chlorophyll and other things. Is that true? This year, I only eat the watermelon and throw out the rinds because I'm scared of the pesticides. How bad would it be, the rinds to juice, if you soak it in sodium bicarbonate and then also wash it thoroughly with soap and a sponge? Is sodium bicarb the best thing to remove pesticides? Mind that I'm from Europe, so apparently the Dirty Dozen list doesn't exactly apply for us here. It's supposed to be different. Do you know anything about how to get a similar list for Europe? Thank you so much for all your answers and all the information in your podcast. It's amazing. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Lal. Appreciate that. So Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 are for the United States. I think you could apply that towards Mexico as well, since many of the foods are grown there. So I don't know for Europe. However, I gave you on a previous podcast a produce wash. Let's see if we can find that. It's not complicated at all, but let's see if we can find it. Let's go back to that StephenCabral.com/podcast. And let's see if we can, I'll just do it quick. Let's see if we can type in produce, got to spell it right, wash. There we go. And see if we can pop up the show. All right. So, fruit and veggie wash on episode 349 could be that one. And it says 918, 1491, 652. So one of those will probably have it. Let me just look in my podcast sheet as well, and let's type in produce wash. See if it's in there. None found. Let's just type in wash. How many could there be, right? On 1,000. Oh, there's 31. Probably a few too many to go through. All right. So if one of those podcasts are not it, then simply let us know. But instead of sodium bicarb, and you can certainly add that to this, we use apple cider vinegar. Okay. So in my family, even with organic stuff, for the most part, we're washing it with a solution of water and some apple cider vinegar, a couple other things as well. So that's that with that. And would I juice the rinds if they were sprayed with pesticides? My answer would be, unfortunately, no, I would not. Maybe you feel comfortable. That's okay. If it was organic, okay, then I'd be okay with juicing the rinds. So the best thing that you could do, and I know that they have them over in Europe, is find a farmer's market, look for a local organic farm, or if they do spray and they use organic pesticides, just see what they do spray with. And then what I would do is use a scrub brush on the outside and scrub that, and you can soak it. And that would be great. But I simply don't believe, I believe in staying as far away from pesticides as humanly possible. So that's my answer. All right. Well, that is our time already for today. Look at that. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I literally didn't know that time flew by today. 21 minutes on the button. Try to keep the shows at 22 minutes. So thank you so much. I will be answering more of your questions tomorrow. I do hope that you tune in. Again, today was StephenCabral.com/1646. And be sure to tune in tomorrow. We'll be answering more of our community's questions. Take care. Have an amazing rest of the weekend. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.